Hey, look who showed up. Deb Cole. Deb Cole
What?
here.
See
Little
that?
sister.
And I rub my legs
Deb
together
Cole,
and wish hard.
Deb Cole is our social media expert. She's also a business coach. CoachDeb.tv is her website, and of course you can follow her on Twitter at Coach Deb. I gotta ask a question. I keep hearing that Facebook is waning and Twitter use is going down among millennials. True or false?
Who are you hearing that from?
I don't know. I'm just keep hearing.
Just
I'm in
the word
freaking
on the
media.
street.
The drunks at the bar.
Yeah,
And they're all going back to MySpace, right? Is
That's
that the
right.
No,
is
I
that the
just
rumor
hear
on the
that Facebook is waning in some respects. Users.
So some of the issues with Facebook right now is that over this past winter, a lot of businesses were seeing a major decline in their organic reach. So. In other words, they paid a lot of money to get fans on their page, right? They did a lot of advertising, and say you have 20,000 fans. Well, what we're seeing with clients now is if they're not paying for advertising, their organic reach, like the things they post, don't even show up in their own fans' newsfeed. So you'll see maybe 500 people have viewed that post, and it's a very distinctive drop, whereas it used to be thousands of people. Now it's maybe 500. So they have to be very clever at commenting every hour on that post to bump it up in the newsfeed, or pay to boost the post. So that's where some marketers and business owners and people have left Facebook, or they've gotten mad at it. But it's a strategic advantage for anyone who says, you know what, I don't care that they've changed the rules. I need to pay to play, and they're willing to do that. So you'll have the key advantage if you're willing to pay for Facebook advertising.
Full-time job, maintaining your social media.
How's Twitter doing, by the way?
It's become definitely a full-time position. And
how's Twitter doing?
Twitter, Bob's favorite.
So that's part of why, and what you said with the millennials, that's part of why a lot of millennials have been using Twitter, because they're not restricting who sees their tweet, and it goes right to their friends' mobile phones if they have them turned on. So a lot of people are preferring Twitter because they don't have any type of restriction. You know, if you build 100,000 fans that follow you,
100,000 fans get to see your post.
Potentially, right.
Yeah, right.
And again, it depends on how much noise and clutter in their own newsfeed, but they're not saying, well, we're not going to show your post just arbitrarily. And that's what people are getting ticked off about.
Last of all, before because I want to get to this story about Adam Carolla.
Okay.
What about Pinterest? Is Pinterest still a viable thing?
Pinterest is growing. It's definitely, this is, I'm predicting this is going to be like the new Amazon, where Amazon just started, you know, as a book site, and now it's shopping for everything. I just went shopping there this weekend to get everything for my office, for my house, paper towels, just everything. Amazon, right? And it's weird, right? You used to think about it just for books, and now it's for everything for the household. Pinterest is not just a picture sharing site, but it's a place where people are going to check out brands, and then the stats are that more people will buy coming from Pinterest than any other social media site. So they may go on Twitter to find some news and what's happening, breaking news, but they go to Pinterest to buy specifically. So they're in a buying mode, which is really cool if you understand the emotional connection of, you know, how the brain works. And you're in a buying mood, then you get your brand on Pinterest on a regular basis. You're going to get more buyers.
It's like the end cap of the internet, Russ. You know, when you're walking down the grocery and they've got the chocolate bars on the end cap, and you
impulse buy.
Yeah, Pinterest is the end cap of the internet. That's what I predict. Can I put that down? Can you write that? How come you're not writing that down?
I just log on and buy a bikini right now.
Coach Deb is with us. We're going to talk to you about law and disorder in the social media space, about a man who we've had on the air here several times. I'll tell you about that in just a second. Big Biz Show, bigbizshow.com. Deb Cole's in studio, CoachDeb.tv. She's our social media expert. Okay, tell us the story, because nobody really understands outside of the world of social media what happened with Adam Carolla. What happened with Adam Carolla?
Okay, so there's a patent troll who basically, what a patent troll is, you set up a company specifically to go after companies and sue them. And he went after Adam Carolla because Adam Carolla has a big name. He has a big podcast. A lot of people follow him. Oh, so there's a patent troll, and I don't want to mention the name just because I give them more. Yes,
Okay.
They set up. It's essentially they set up a shell company. So it's set up in East Texas. They set up a shell company, and they specifically file lawsuits to go after. And they're basically saying that every podcaster owes him money, or owes this company money, because they're the ones who invented this streaming audio podcasting. And Adam Carolla is a huge
Seriously, I did the very first podcast of a CEO
so
interview
you would be
in this
part
country.
Of the lawsuit.
So can I sue him because he stole my idea?
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, it cost me $5,000 to have enough servers so that 10,000 shareholders could listen to a CEO interview at the time.
Well, I was
and you were on that. You were with me.
Yeah, and before that, I was one of the first video hosts on Time Warner Cable.
Remember,
San
his name was
Diego
Max
in
Headroom. Maybe you were
1994.
Right. So can we sue
Dial-up.
that? Can we sue the patent troll guy?
Well,
we were there first.
You could do whatever you want. I don't give
I see.
advice.
I
don't like
but
those
what's
guys.
interesting is that Adam Carolla is not letting them drop the lawsuit. They say they tried, but he's not, and he's basically tying them up in court. And he's actually now going online and using Twitter as a platform to get the word out to his fans. And they're raising money using crowdsourcing.
Oh, that's a good one.
So they're, yes, a good crowdfunding project. And then, of course, they're complaining because he's raising a lot of money to fight them.
Too bad.
Which ties them up in court. And what's nice about that is then they don't go after all the other little guys that couldn't say fight or
Good
raise
for
the money
Adam.
just to fight. So yeah, so we're NMX, we're a big supporter of Adam, what he's doing. And people listen to him every day that have nothing to do with the tech industry, but they're getting exposed to what's happening with podcasting. So overall, it's great publicity for it all. But once again, it's not something that is a pleasant thing to be sued, and most people would just freak out and pay the lawsuit and settle.
Well,
that's what most people do.
But that's what you should do. And I'll would you like to know why?
Well,
Why,
no.
Bob?
Well, let me. Yeah, you should do that. Let me tell you why, Deb.
I
Glad she
wouldn't
asked.
settle.
Deb, yes, you would. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. On most lawsuits, you should settle.
Better be good.
Deb, you don't owe me a nickel. You don't owe me anything. But I could sue you tomorrow for $10,000 saying that you do. It's going to cost you $5 to hire an attorney to answer the sum as a complaint.
Right.
It's cheaper to pay me $6.
I understand that finationally you want to do that, but on
there
principle, set a precedent.
There is no principle in business.
Sure there is.
No, so you'll go bankrupt over principle?
You wouldn't. No, you
That's
wouldn't
the
go
point.
bankrupt.
And you wouldn't spend a nickel of your shareholders' dollar over principle.
But
Not going to happen.
But that's what's nice about what. And again, this is a debate. Some people are saying,
here
"Oh,
we
he
go.
shouldn't do this," but plenty of people are funding this and in support of it.
Yeah.
Because once again, it ties them up. The people who originally created the lawsuit
Right.
and went after him and attacked him.
And that's bogus anyway.
So-
It is bogus.
They didn't invent
Yeah.
blogging.
Yeah.
That's the point. You know,
streaming.
it's not going to stand up in court anyway. None of this internet stuff could possibly, as far as patent goes, because nobody knows really the genesis of it. Wasn't the U.S. Army, the military, created this internet stuff? If you'd have to go back to the genesis of internet to do this, and I think every time I hear one of these knuckleheads, this reminds me of Larac. Larac was an attorney on the West Coast that went out and sued public companies. They just went out and picked the biggest public companies out there and just sued them for innocuous stuff and got them to settle every time. It's also like this guy with the ADA, the American Disabilities Act guy, that drives around in a wheelchair. By the way, just got deported last week.
Deported.
To Mexico, he was illegal. But the point is, he's in a wheelchair. He's going to, and he's stopping at dry cleaners. He's stopping at delis. He's stopping at restaurants. Suing every one of them for ADA violations, and then getting them to settle.
Did
with
anyone
him.
win? So that's how.
No,
he
they all
makes his money,
settled with him. Yeah,
basically.
he got $1.2
So
million.
it's kind of like official begging. What you're you're promoting.
It is
yes, give
extortion. It's
give them-
extortion, which is why you have to. So the other option is this. And this because the way the justice system's set up, the other option is okay, go to court, spend $100,000 to save 10. Honestly, and you can't do that.
Well, and that's why most business owners will just settle,
And they
that's why
should.
people are in fan of what Adam Carolla is doing because he's tying them up in
Well,
court.
of course, the big question is, why the hell am I not doing that? What a great way to make $5K.
Because you have a
All
better way to make money. You make people laugh. You
Oh,
make the
that's right.
world a better place,
All
Rusty.
right, fine.
We're happy
fine.
that you're
Boost
in
my ego.
making us
I
laugh.
landed. I'm back.
Seriously, it's a
Yeah.
good
Well,
thing.
but that's what I'm saying, and that's why I say that you should.
Just settle.
Yeah, because more
And I
times.
say
than
fight.
well, would you rather be right or would you rather be happy?
Well, it's like it goes to the Braveheart movie, right? If we
Yeah,
all
some
just
people are
concede
that-
Unite
and
us.
lay
Unite
down
the
our
clans.
I'd
swords.
rather be
Instead of
correct
fight for
and said,
freedom.
yes, you are right on
Right.
principle, but
It's
now you
not
owe
going
us
to do
$400
that.
million
Right.
so
Right.
you're broke.
Right.
and goodbye.
Well, and that's why with crowdsourcing, and this is for any type of business, it's a little bit out of each business owner's pocket going to a main cost.
I have to
which
ask
is
you about
cool.
crowdsourcing,
Oh,
real quick,
yes.
and we'll have
okay.
about a minute and a half.
Okay.
Okay, so the way Kickstarter works,
Yes.
for example, let's say I want to raise $50,000 for a project.
Right.
Okay. So let's say you raise 40,000 of it, and you're coming down to 0 hour. And if you don't get all of it, you don't get any of it, right? Can I put my own 10K in? Yes, I can.
Sure, I'm
That's the
gonna
point.
say
so do you know what
sure.
people are doing? I think it's completely unethical. Do you know what people are doing? So that if it costs something $50K to fund, it's $50K to fund. You can't put $40K into a project and expect to get $50K worth of value out of it.
What I advise people to do is go for something small so that you get that goal, and then if you reach that goal, then go back and ask for more if you need more. But go after something that you know your fans would be able to drum up the money for. But I don't think there's anything wrong with going to, say, a business inventor and saying, listen, I'm $5,000 short.
I get that.
Would you give me a loan?
That's not the same thing. What I'm saying is when you put your family put their money in, say, I'm going to give you the money back after it's funded.
Yeah.
That's unethical.
Why is that bad?
What? Because it's, wait a second, because if you're going to fund something for $100,000, it's $100,000. You can't.
And then you've proven to your family that you've
to
raised $90,000
You're
or
going to get, no,
$95,000.
what I'm saying is, let's say that you raise $80,000 of it.
Yeah.
And you say, family, hey, put in 20, I'll give you the 20 right back just so I can get the 80 to fund it. Oh, completely unethical.
You raised $80,000. That's a huge
it costs
feat.
you
You're going to
$100.
lose all of that.
Yeah, but it's your stupid sister. Who
Doesn't-
cares?
no.
Come on, you got money.
Or don't pay her back.
That's
I mean, the better thing to do, Sully,
Put it
is
in the
just
will.
convince your family to be an investor. And don't pay them back.
Right.
Just convince them to be investors.
but
There's
the-
the solution.
Thank you, Deb.
You can't fund a
Virtual high
$100,000
five,
deal for
Rusty.
$80,000. That's why the government doesn't let a private placement go through until it's completely subscribed for that very reason. Because you can't fund $100,000 with only $80,000. All right, we'll argue about this later. Thank you, Deb. Deb Cole, CoachDeb.tv.
It's a fun debate, Sully.